You are the best. It's true. I am the best. So true.
The balls on you, man. I mean, Elon has big balls working at Doge, but bro, this work, the videos that you make are unbelievable. That is particularly special, that clip. And it's my favorite clip that you've ever done, although we have a ton of your other work lined up here. Maybe we'll play some of it, but that's my favorite clip you've ever done because you're trolling Alec Baldwin for shooting and killing that lady on the movie set. And then he says he's going to kill you in response. So very successful troll there, Jason.
Thank you. And, you called me brave, but it's sort of like once the train takes off, you're going 150 miles an hour. I didn't anticipate him threatening to kill me. And when he did, I was just trying my best to stay in character, keep that face and the posture going. But at the same time, in my mind, he was really getting in my face, snapping at me. I didn't know what was going to happen, but obviously, we got gold. We hit that liquid gold with that video.
You have our entire studio cracking up already. Okay, so and we cover a lot of Trump, so we've seen obviously all of it. I think you do a better. Maybe it's because you do a better impersonation than Alec Baldwin, bro. Have you ever thought about that? Like maybe he was pissed off that you, as an independent creator, are better than him, who's had obviously hundreds of millions of Hollywood dollars poured into his career and his professional acting. Maybe that's really what did it. Maybe that.
Well, I don't even think he saw what he was doing as an impression. I think he saw it as an attack, because that's exactly what it was. So when people say to me, they're like, "Oh, that wasn't comedy, that was an attack." I'm like, "Oh, you mean like what he did for 4 years straight, which was just attack the guy? That wasn't an impersonation." When you're impersonating somebody, you have to find something about them that you like to come to the surface. That's what an impersonation is. But what he did was an attack, and maybe I came and attacked back.
Is this like so was he like right up in your face? I know the camera angle is a little tough. Like, was he like this close? I mean, this is crazy.
He was pretty close. The funny thing is, he goes, "Oh, what's that, a camera in your hand?" And then he leaned in. What he didn't realize, what I had on my finger when I said kiss the ring was a microphone. So I think when he leaned in and kind of whispered, he thought he was avoiding being picked up by the camera, the one behind me, because he saw my camera guy behind me, and he also saw what was in my hand. But I think he thought when he was leaning in and whispering that it wouldn't get picked up, but it was actually a very powerful microphone in my hand. So that audio was so crisp and so clear.
Dude, these people are so dumb. So he's trying to make the point that, his family lives in the building and that you should be respectful. And then he says he's going to murder you. Yeah. So that's a lot. I mean, again, and you're making a joke, obviously, about a very, very public trial of him shooting and killing a lady on his movie set. Yeah. And in order to retort what you're saying and to clap back at you, he says, "I'll murder you right now in the street."
Yeah. Yeah. Very extreme. People are like, "You should file charges. You should sue him." I just think the guy needs counseling. I honestly feel bad for him at the end of the day. I think he needs help.
He's got a lot of these videos, man. I mean, I don't think there's a single celebrity that's gone berserker, galaxy brain more than Alec Baldwin. And at least he snaps on like the Hamas protesters. Like he had a string of like Hamas protesters that he was like threatening and grabbing their cameras and throwing them. Yeah. So at least he's equal opportunity. That's very bipartisan, actually.
In a way, yeah.
He's attacking the left. I don't know where you are politically, but at least you care enough about Trump to do a funny impersonation of him that's not driven out of spite and hate.
I'm definitely, I definitely support the president.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. This is what a hateful, spiteful Alec Baldwin looks like, who's doing a lesser impersonation than you. He's doing he's doing a worse job. You think SNL will hire you next?
Yeah, anything's possible.
Okay. I like your Trump impersonation better than the guy that they got. And also, they're being fed comedy gold. Okay, so as a professional comedian, I want to get your take on two things. One, this is comedy gold. This is an era of, it's almost hard to do parody in this era because the politicians are the comedians. Yes. And I think that's been something that's been accelerating with President Biden. I mean, you have Joe Biden who's fallen on his ass, and every time he opens his mouth, it's a comedy sketch, kind of sad, like dark gallows humor, but it's It's kind of like a comedy sketch.
It-
Why didn't anyone make fun of Joe Biden? Like, that should have been the golden era of political parody.
There was definitely a vacuum, and I think in that era, that's where I sort of emerged, and I took up the space in that vacuum. I actually got thrown off of TikTok, my original TikTok, because I would have my friend push me around in a wheelchair, and I would be Biden in Macy's, and I would just be fumbling around. And each one of those videos,
I've seen
that was me.
I apologize. They're a couple years old. I apologize. That was
Oh,
you.
that's okay. Yeah, that
Maybe
was
we can
me.
find them. Maybe we can find them. Toss them up.
It's hard to find because they wiped out my TikTok, and it was just innocent. I wasn't saying anything really offensive. I was just making fun of Biden, and I got thrown off. Oh, this is Jamarcus.
Is this Robert De Niro's house?
Yes, that's Robert De Niro's house, and I hired a guy to play his illegitimate son, Jamarcus.
I mean, we probably have to listen to it, Jason. I mean, I want to be respectful of your time here, but we probably should listen to the sound on this tape.
Absolutely.
I'm back. It's your favorite president. I don't give up. You didn't come out last time, so I hired an investigator and found your illegitimate son, Jamarcus. Jamarcus, come over here, Jamarcus. Say some words for your father. Talk to your daddy. Father, why don't you love me? Accept me. It's okay, Jamarcus. Do you hear that, Bobby? So look, Bobby, I'm officially placing $200 million in tariffs on your building until you come out and speak to me and your son, Jamarcus. His mother, LaQuisha, who you abandoned very strongly, got shot. It's so sad. And I'm officially adopting Jamarcus myself. Believe me, Bobby.
So wait a second. Is this true? Do I not know this about Robert De Niro?
Yeah, I did hire a private investigator. No, I'm kidding. It was all completely just to troll him.
You never know. You were able to see Robert De Niro face to face. We do have that B-roll here. Well, he didn't respond to you, as far as I know. He didn't come up to you, right?
He didn't, but I had him stuck there for a moment, and I laid into him.
How do you find these guys?
Well, this was at a premiere for his new show, so it was guaranteed that he was going to be there. And I also have a younger brother who's he's a big celebrity guy. He's a little nerdy, and he's an autograph hound, so he knows where they're all going to be. So I had him help me, and I also have a friend who works in TMZ or whatever. So I have a little network of people help me out.
That's great. So you're not and I did see the TMZ clip of you saying you were considering filing charges against Alec Baldwin. I did want to get to that. You're not going to do that.
No.
Okay. I saw the TMZ follow-up. Okay, so why couldn't they make fun of Joe Biden? I want to ask that question, and then I want to ask, about the current era, because I think we're actually entering an era of unbridled comedy, and I'm very encouraged by it.
Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah, and so talk to me about the before time, right? When suddenly, every comedian, they cut your tongues out. What the F was up with that over the last 4 years?
Yeah. So, well, basically, they couldn't make fun of Biden because it was like the emperor's new clothes. They all could see on some level that he was, degrading. He had dementia. He had difficulty putting sentences together. But if they admitted that, then the guy who they called Hitler for 4 years would inevitably make a comeback. So they all had to, they basically, it's like they got led into the narrow ravine. They got led by their own doing, got led into this trap. And that's why they really couldn't touch Biden. They did a little bit at the end because at that point it was just so overwhelming. After the debate, it became unavoidable completely. And even when it was unavoidable, they still kind of hit him with the kid gloves. But like I say, that opened a door for me to do the wheelchair videos in Macy's, and I had one when he first fell up the stairs on Air Force One. I actually went into those red stairs in Times Square, and I had a wheelchair, and I went all the way down the stairs. I gotta find that video too. I was bumping into people. It was great.
My producers, who are just the absolute digital sleuths, if it can be found, they'll find them. Danny and Alex and Jack are on it. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see if we can get them. We can get these old Biden videos. Okay, so now fast forward to, so that was the before time.
Yeah,
where everyone was a coward, and where I would argue you're not a comedian. None of these guys on late night, just to labor on this point for one, because of what you just said, to labor on this point for just a second, like in the before time, these guys they're not comedians actually. Like you're clearly somebody who's just controlled opposition. You're handed the jokes that are safe.
Yeah.
You're not able, like, through that time, who was the only comedian? I mean, it's like Dave Chappelle, right? Is like somebody who sort of had a renaissance during that time because he's like, F you, right? Like, you're not going to tell me what to say or who I can make fun of. And then you have these guys like late night comedians like Kimmel and them, Stephen Colbert. They did like a whole write-up in Politico where they were like admitting to Politico, it was last summer, like, no, we took we don't attack Biden because of democracy, right? Like, it's like, bro, you're a fraud. You're not a comedian. Like, don't call yourself that. There's plenty of people who do PR for political parties. Yeah. That's what you do. Like, you're clearly not a comic.
Yeah, I also think that's a major part of the reason why the Democrats lost, because humor is such a potent tool. And the way that I was using it, I always say I have my views, but it has to stay funny. Like, if I'm just preaching, that's not going to be funny. And, there are other guys, not to name names, there are other guys who are super pro-Trump, who imitate Trump, but I don't know how many people they've converted. Over the last 4 years, I have people on video. I should send you this video. Kids, young kids, like ethnic, I don't know, some sort of Spanish or whatever. Kids come up to me and they're like, dude, we hated Trump. We were Democrats, liberals. Your videos made us support Trump. And in those moments are so gratifying to me, because it's like, yeah, I'm able to use my God-given gifts to make people happy and to make a living, but I'm also having whatever minuscule impact on the world, on the election, and that feels great. I had this Chinese guy come up to me. He goes, once again, in New York City, it's where I live, and he's like, your videos make me so happy. And he's like, I love a Trump. He is for freedom, And it's like, it sounds funny, and it was kind of funny in the moment, but it like, those moments feel amazing.
If you can't make fun of something, if you can't joke about something, then you actually increase the pressure. And you create a society that nobody wants to live in. You create a society with like protected sacred cows. This entire, it's like deeply antithetical to like the purpose of the country itself. It really does.
100%.
It drives straight at this one of my favorite stories ever, which is the banning of political cartoons, which was like the political comedy of its era in the 1700s. And most of the founders had newspaper publishing companies, some type of like publishing company, right? Some of them very famously, like Ben Franklin. And King George, one of the first things he did to actually inspire the American Revolution was say, you can't make cartoons of me. Yeah. Don't draw videos of me with my like white ass, right, getting spanked, or me getting pillared, right? They would do political cartoons of King George. And they were really funny. They were like funny for their time. And that was like the SNL of its day. Some of the original founding documents of this country were actually ridiculing the powerful. Yeah. And it's a way for people who, most of us just live like, most of us like live lives where we got to like get up, go to work, grind for the man. It's like a way for us to get back a little bit. Yeah.
Comedy gets perfect, you by.
Like, pop that up. This is perfect. This is like the old original. These are the original colonial cartoons of King George. He banned them. Yeah. Before the taxes, right? Before like the tea tax and all the things that we learn about, the actual acceleration of the American Revolution was him banning comedy. The king banning comedy. And the founders being like, F that, right? Yeah. Like, that's not the kind of country we want to build. Where there are protected classes of people. And so that's how valuable political humor is, actually. Yeah. The art form that you practice is ancient in this country. It's part of the reason we have a country, in fact.
Yeah. And I find that when you limit comedy, it actually divides people more. And people just sort of go into their groups, especially like racial comedy. I used to work at a moving company. You know what I'm saying? I was the white guy, the black guy. We had the Muslim. Everybody was cracking jokes on each other, and we all got along. But when you say, "Oh my gosh, no, I can't say that because it might offend this guy," then everybody retreats to their groups, and then that's when things get weird. And I think we saw a major result of that sort of thing over the last, how many ever years. But we're coming out of it.
It didn't get better. Yeah, it didn't get better. Everything got worse, and everything got more balkanized, and people got like more. The pressure increased instead of decreased. So
1000%.
anyway, this is like so now we have a reversal.
Yeah.
So the reversal is, it seems like the comedy golden era is coming back, and everyone from Andrew Schultz to other other big comedians are actually going big on attacking individual groups. Not attacking, like making fun of these differences, going back to either racial comedy or comedy about people's sexual preferences, or like groups, untouchable groups, right? The sacred cows, and and politicians, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. Again, that's it's a pressure release valve. It lets the pressure out in society, and more importantly, it tells people that
you could relax.
Yes, that's right. So that's obviously a good thing. I think that's great for society. I'm sure as a practitioner of this, you believe it.
Yeah, 100%. And you could see it calming down even on SNL a little bit. They're still pretty radical, but I could see a difference between this guy doing Trump and the 4 years of Baldwin. Do you notice that?
On SNL?
A little bit.
Yeah, the guy that's a little more warmth to the character, right?
Yeah. A little closer, closer.
Yep.
But it's still pretty bad.
I think SNL should hire you, man. I think that'd be a good.
I agree. So
it'd be like, I think the ratings would go. Okay, so where are we headed in the next couple of years? It seems like this prickly, you're not allowed to make fun of people. That's gone. I mean, I think that's gone, and more importantly, the money's gone. That backs that up. Nobody made any money. You don't make money by canceling Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And giving in to the fanatical theater kids that work at Netflix. You just don't do that.
Yeah, I think we're returning to the America that I was born in 1991. I'm 33 years old, and I think we're slowly going back to the America of the 90s and the early 2000s when comedies. I remember 4 years ago, the guy who directed, I think it was The Hangover. He said, he just admitted blatantly. He's like, you can't write comedy anymore, and that's horrible. You know what I mean? Comedy is the medicine. Comedy is when you're at your lowest point, you know what I mean? When somebody passes away or something, that first giggle, that's the first time you emerge from the that dark place is comedy. So I think what I predict happening in the next 4 years, 8 years, 12 years is a return to just normalcy. It's who said he's forget Make America Great Again, just make America again. I think it was James Woods said that. Just make America again. The people of my era, I grew up in Long Island, New York, Levittown, blue collar town, mainly Italian American, Italian Irish, and everybody of my generation, you'll hear us reminiscing and missing those times of movies like Anchorman and The Hangover I just mentioned, and things like that. And I think that era, that time is coming back, and I think that because the majority demands it at this point. It's not the minority anymore, it's the majority.
We have found, Jason, your video.
Okay, Biden.
We have found one.
Okay.
We found one. I think we found one or two. Oh no, we found the Okay, I was okay, amazing. Just a second. We found the wheelchair one. All right. So here's you as Biden. Okay. So this is Biden visits the M&M store. All right. And I think we found your wheelchair. Video.
Okay.
I'm Joe President. This is the M&M store. I'm looking for some kids. Hey, come here, kid. Hey, come here. Oh, that's good. Smells like a peanut. Come on, man. Look, I'm looking for no serious dates until you're 35. Come on, man. That's so. Hey, look at this.
Creepy. It's hard to parody almost because it is so creepy and it's almost unnerving.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, all right. Well,
That's my
producers are
friend, by
working
the way. His name is Pepito. He's not an actual child. He's
He's
actually
going after an actual
he's
child,
almost
okay.
40 years old.
So let's jump one. Let's. All right. So they're working on getting it. We'll see if we can get it.
Sure.
I just wanted to say we're fans of your work. We appreciate it, and we appreciate it on a not only a sort of cultural historic level of the country we want to build together, but also on like a this is the kind of country we want to live in. You don't want to live in like a zero trust society. You want to live in a high trust society, and the way you actually trust people. And where I come from is to break their balls. Like if you're being really, really nice to somebody, like that's a problem. I know Long Island, there's a problem. Your closest group of friends. This is why it's bad when the text chain, the guy text chain leaks. Because your closest group of friends are the people that you're the most offensive with, the people
100%.
that you make the most fun of. And that's like where I come from. That's the way that you like tell somebody you love them, actually. Yeah. And you care about them.
Same for where I come. And it's what makes you human.
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's exactly right. Okay, so is this it? Do we actually have it? Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. Put this. Here we go. Just to show you, we actually
Don't doubt
found
that,
it.
but I'm okay. Come on, man. I got hairy legs. Whoa, falling on the family. White kids are just as black as poor kids. Come on, man. I got hairy legs. They turn blonde in the summer. Come on, man. Bringing back dignity. Come on, that's so okay. You don't vote for me, you ain't black. Come on, man.
All right, so we wanted to close here, Jason, by giving you just one opportunity to. I certainly hope that we don't or do regret it. I'm not exactly sure, but here's Jimmy Kimmel doing blackface. Back, I guess, in the before time with Karl Malone, and want to give you a chance to roast Jimmy Kimmel as Trump, doing this sketch. You have audio on this? He just does a Karl Malone. He just does like a Karl Malone voice. So, can you go in on him as Trump?
Well, if you look at it, you look at Kimmel, right, Jimmy? This guy used to love me. He used to walk out to the curb welcoming me. This guy is a total racist. You look at what he did to Karl Malone. He's a hero. If you look at it, that guy is an icon, and I know icons, okay? I'm sort of as iconic as they come. That's what people are saying. But the hatred in Jimmy's eyes, you could tell if this was back in the days of slavery, Jimmy would have had slaves. I would never have slaves, okay? Because I thought that was wrong. It was so wrong. But Jimmy, he's a guy, he would probably have hundreds of slaves. And then he would go out to them in the shack. They had him in the shack. And he would paint himself. And he would mock them. And that's very nasty. And personally, I think Jimmy should be fired if you want to know the truth. Okay? Okay, Benny?
Okay, Trump, Mr. President. It's perfect. We've interviewed Trump. It's so good. It's such a ringer. And there's clearly love behind it. You should show Jason Scoop some love. Head on over, ladies and gentlemen, to his account on X and give him a follow. Give him a sub right now. It's also on YouTube. I think he has links here in his bio. You can find Jason's content across platforms. X is the one that we focus on because most people drop all of their content there.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes viral every single week, and he's one of the few people actually practicing true comedy. Now, here's his YouTube is Jason Scoop Comedy right there. Great.
And I'm on Cameo. That's a big thing for me. If anybody wants a personal message from the president for their birthday, graduation, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, everything, I'm on cameo.com/Jason Scoop Comedy, and you can see the examples there.
There we go. It's great. I'm flying down to Tampa for my kid's birthday party. They're a big fan of Trump. So
I would love that.
Maybe it's okay. Oh, Jason. Okay.
I do those too. Yeah.
We're not gonna stop until Jason's on SNL. Jason must be the Trump on SNL. This is going to be the crusade that we're on. Jason, it's an honor to talk to you, man. What you do is important. I think you represented it so perfectly, like how valuable these impersonations are, how valuable comedy is in this moment. And we thank you for bringing a little extra light to our days.
My pleasure. And thank you
Later.
for having me on. Been a fan for quite a long time.
My man. See you, Jason.
See you, Benny.